I'm happy to be here in America. Happy to be in America. Yeah. I'm Asian American, which means my parents despise me. Like, they hate the American parts of me, but they're the ones who brought me here, where everything's different. Like, social status is different. Here, a kid's status is based on who their parents are. But in Asia, a parent's status is based on who their kids are. Which means my parents are fucking losers. So who cares what they think? Everything's different here. Like, pop culture's different. Back home, they still use sound effects. Like, this is comedy. But comedy in Bangladesh is a Facebook video of a guy falling to the sound boing. But most of all, I'm different, you know? I've changed. Back home, I used to make my dad a cup of tea every morning. Now I steal his painkillers. It's a different life. But in my defense, it's hard when two cultures clash. In first grade, I got placed in ESL, the class for kids who don't speak English. And that was hard for a few reasons. Number one, I spoke English. My school just thought I had foreigner vibes. And number two, my school was poor, so instead of a separate class like it's supposed to be, they just put us on a separate table in the same class. That'll really get you started on the lifetime of bullying. Kids used to call us the Committee of Foreign Affairs. Even the special ed table was shouting slurs at us. Do you know what it's like to have a kid yell, "Go back to your country," in sign language? It's brutal. Substitute teachers were always confused. They'd walk in like, "Yo, is this school still segregating?" We got our own water fountain, that didn't help. The worst part of it was all the other ESL kids were Chinese and they started ganging up on me. I started getting domestically abused by the international table. This one Chinese kid and I were always talking shit. The hardest part about that is that neither one of us knew what the other one was saying. Did not speak the same language. Different kinds of Asian. There's so many kinds of Asian, you know? For example, I'm Bengali, my girlfriend's Chinese, which means our kids are Filipino. I don't understand Asian stereotypes. There's so many kinds of Asian. How can there be stereotypes? People are like, "Oh, you're Asian. You must be, like, good at math." Lucky guess. Fuck you. Or people think that I'm responsible and respectful. It's like, yeah, that's Asian guys in Asia. Asian guys here are actually really rebellious. It's just hard to tell because we rebel in Asian ways. Right? Like, my dad was like, after high school, you're gonna go to college and you're gonna study pre-med. I said, "No, Dad, that's your dream. I'm gonna follow my dream." And I did, I rebelled. I went to college and I studied math. That was my dream. My dad got so mad, he tried to hit me with a wooden spoon, but he fell. All I heard was boing. Also, yes, I'm a math major. It's probably the most embarrassing thing I said so far. I tell people I'm studying math, they're like, "Oh, I fucking hate math." It's like, "Oh, thanks, it's my passion." It's very kind. You get cool opportunities as a math major. You could be a math tutor, math teacher, meth dealer. They all use math. I got a job tutoring prisoners. They're actually really into it. They love math, especially word problems. It's just weird because every word problem is about breaking out of prison. They'll hand you the sheet of paper. "You're in a 4x4 cell. There's 2 cards on your floor." What the fuck? It's nice though, because I feel like I'm helping these people. I'm changing their lives around. There's one guy, Malik. He used to be a car thief. Then I taught him trigonometry. Now he escaped, actually. There's a cosine-shaped hole where his cell used to be. Math majors have stereotypes too. There's a stereotype we don't get laid. Actually, I met a girl in my class. She found out I was a math major. She brought me back to her place, spent the night doing her homework. Math majors are actually the worst to date. It's not because we're awkward, it's because we turn every argument into a logical debate. My girlfriend hates it. She's like, I feel like you're constantly invalidating my experiences and emotions using logic. I was like, prove it. I actually meet a lot of women. I'm in a club called Women in Mathematics. True story. It's the first year they started allowing men. Which means things are not going the way they wanted it to. But some math majors will do anything to get laid. Like Isaac Newton. You ever been so horny you just invent calculus? Like how down bad do you have to be to create Newtonian physics and then still die a virgin? Which means the only head he got was from an apple. And that apple didn't fall far from the tree. Are you guys not entertained? I think I'm cooler than Isaac Newton. I do cooler things. I used to do meth. That's true. Thanks for that. Woo. I'm relapsing tonight. No. Is meth cool? I can't really tell. I know like if you smoke weed, people think you can hang. If you snort coke, people think you party. If you smoke meth, people think you live outdoors. You end up on weird sites when you're on meth. End up on a site for a gay test. I clicked on this ad. It was like one question to test if you're gay. And I knew what the question was gonna be. It was gonna be, are you gay? Or do you like to suck dick? I just wanna know which one, so I clicked on it. Said if you clicked on this, you're probably gay. In my defense, I feel like I didn't choose to be a drug addict. I mean, I did choose to do drugs, but I didn't choose to be addicted to them. You know, it's not a consensual process. It just sneaks up on you. It's like joining a cult. Starts with some new friends. All of a sudden, you get love bombed. By the time you realize what's going on, you're eating dick and no longer own property. For me, it started with a bipolar evaluation. I went to my doctor. He's like, you're not bipolar, but you do have a dual diagnosis of ADHD and depression. I was like, so I'm bipolar? Is that not what that is? Because to me, it sounded like he just said, you don't have parents, but you do have a dual diagnosis of a mom and a dad. You're not in debt, but you do have a dual diagnosis of owing people money and having no way of paying it back. He was like, no, it's way different. People that have bipolar disorder, they have manic episodes, they go days without sleep. I was like, yeah, I get those. So he updated my diagnosis to ADHD, depression, and insomnia. That made me really sad. For a few seconds, then I got really happy. Not because I'm bipolar, but because he prescribed me Adderall. The first time I got prescribed Adderall, I was like, oh my God. I feel like a focused God. I'm so happy. Is this what being normal is like? No, that's what being high on Adderall is like. I got addicted to Adderall, which surprised me, because except for people like me, Adderall was medication. Turns out you're not supposed to snort your medication. I used to finish my medication. I would text everyone I know to buy more. They'd be like, you addict? I'm like, chill, it's my medication. But then I got sold generic medication, meth. Yikes. What do you do in a situation like that? I bought more. That's what I did. It's hard, you know? Like, there was a point in my life where my two favorite things were math and meth. I tried starting a school club called Math and Meth. The motto was, why wake up early when you can just not sleep? Math and Meth, for people who can find X and Y, but can't find why your ex put a restraining order on you. I was so delusional, I just started to prefer it. Be on a 3-day binge like, man, I'm becoming crazy. Crazy genius who's suffering from success. I miss my family, yeah. I went back to my doctor. I was like, Doc, I'm addicted to Adderall. He's like, you're not addicted to Adderall, you just have a dual diagnosis of mental and physical dependence. It's hard getting sober, you know? It's hard for a few reasons. First, most people who get sober, most people who stop being drug addicts, they become something worse than a drug addict. They become religious. No thanks. And also, Adderall is the only addiction with a pros and cons list. No pros, you get straight A's. Cons, no teeth, but pros, you get straight A's. Back then I had no idea how I'd get sober. But mic drop mania, I can stand in front of you tonight and say, still trying to figure out how to get sober. That's it, that's the story. There's no moral to the story, it's a horrible story. You're like, is this a joke or a cry for help? Yep. I know people want drug stories to end with some line. Like, ever since that day, I've been sober for 10 years. I've been up here for 10 minutes. I've been sober for 11 minutes. No, of course not. What actually happened is I took a semester off, but first I had to explain the situation to my school. So I wrote a letter about getting off Adderall. If I couldn't focus, so to write it, I took Adderall. But then my dad found out. He was like, you can't leave school. You'll make me look bad. I was like, Dad, I'm on meth. He was like, yeah, but your grades are higher than I've ever seen them. And it's confusing, you know, because my dad used to say, stay in school, don't do drugs. Now he just says, stay in school, whatever it takes, you know? I used to threaten him with it. But like, Dad, I'm getting sober. He's like, you better not. But I rebelled. In the most Asian way, I got sober. All right, thank you guys.